and friends, this afternoon we're gathered here for the first lap in our victory stretch, and we are counting down. What are we counting down for? What are we counting down for? What are we counting down for? 29 days more to go. And I want the PNCR, and I want the little small parties, the AFCs and the KFCs, I want them to see you here today and tell them what will happen. Tell them what will happen.
I am indeed very happy and privileged to stand on the PPP civic platform, the party that would win the next elections resoundingly. I know for certain that this platform would not collapse like some others would, and some others have already. This is the safest platform to be standing on. This is the only platform to be standing on. The PPPC has a glorious history and a legacy for all to judge it by. This is no fly-by-night operation. This party has a track record, and it has been tried and tested over the years and emerged victorious, as it will come August 28th. I must take this opportunity, though, to thank the President and the party for considering me as a candidate in Dr. Cherry Jagan's party, the Mahatma of our country. As Robert said, I am no stranger to you and this community. I am a son of the soil. I was born in Albion. I live and work here. And I am grateful, very grateful to the opportunity to represent you, the people of Berbice, and to serve the PPPC. And I promise you I will do so to the best of my abilities and lobby and ask for everything that Berbicians want.
Over the past years, I have seen a supporter of the PPPC, but was hesitant in coming forward because I wanted to observe their performance. Having witnessed what was achieved for the people of Guyana by the dynamic leadership and the party, the Honorable Barrett Jagdeo, I have been convinced, and I'm convinced, that this is the party and government I will wish to be a part of. And that is why my being here on this platform today makes me feel so honored.
Friends, you know why we will elect the PPP and Barrett Jagdeo back into government? Because they have transformed our country. They have changed the landscape of Berbice from an ancient county to a modern county now. Berbice is on the go. Friends, let us remember where we came from as a people. Let us remember 13 years ago where we came from. How was our region? How was our country? When we leave government in 1964, that is the PPP Civic. When the PPP leave government in 1964, we leave Guyana with the highest standard of living. And when we returned to government in 1992, Guyana was competing with Haiti to be the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And after 13 short years, this government has taken Guyana from a poor, backward, underdeveloped country to one of a middle-income country.
Comrades, sisters and brothers, My name is Leslie Ramsamy, and on the 28th, I am putting the X next to the cup for Barrett Jagdale. Comrades, from Charity to Crabble Creek, north, south, east, west, the people of Guyana say 5 more years. Everywhere in our country, the people of Guyana are making the trip to the polling station, and we all put in our X next to the cup. And nobody, comrades, nobody can stop this train. It's a train of victory. It's a train of celebration on the 28th. People say to us, why are you so confident of victory? We are confident, comrades, because whether it's raining, whether it's the sun, whatever difficulty there is, the people come and stand with Barrett Jagdale and the PPPC. That is why we will win. Comrades, we will win because we have always stood with the people of Guyana, just like the people have stood with the PPP Civic. When it is time for us to celebrate, when it is time for us to have a good time, the PPP Civic is with the people. But when in times of need, when in times of disaster, when floods come, it is always the PPP Civic with the people. We never abandon our people.
I suppose that I can stand here and speak for another week about the achievements of the PPP government, the PPP civic government. I suppose we can talk a lot about the many achievements we have made. But just as important as the schools we have built, just as important as the hospitals we have built, just as important as the water that we are now getting in our house, I believe just as important is the freedom that the PPP Civic struggled so hard for and brought back to the people of this country on October 5th, 1992. Without that kind of freedom, our country could not have recovered in the way it has so far recovered. And for us to advance to the future, for us to go forward, it is important that we maintain this freedom that we won in desperate struggles. Those of you who are old enough would recall that at one time Dr. Jagan almost alone, almost single-handedly fought for one person, one vote to bring universal adult suffrage in our country. Before 1953, only people with money, the rich people, could have voted in our country. And from 1953, with the PPP and Dr. Jagan at its head, we won the right of one person, one vote. That helped us to transform our country. You would have heard Comrade Mustafa telling you that in 1964, we were the most developed country in the Caribbean. And that was because of the freedom and democracy that the PPP brought to our land. We lost that after 1964. We lost that when elections were being rigged in our country. And because of the lack of free and fair elections, there was an undermining of democracy in our land. Many And because the fact that we did not have democracy, we did not therefore have accountability, and our country ran down to the ground. The regime before 1992, the PNC regime, ran this country as if it was their personal property, largely because they did not depend on you, the people, to win elections. They depended on rigged elections to keep them there. We have changed that again from 1992. And since we have done so, we have once again been transforming Guyana from the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere back on track, and we are overtaking the rest of the region, or we are catching up with the rest of the region in a very rapid way. Comrades, I want to call and tell you that the PPP, and now the PPP Civic, has always been extremely loyal to the Guyanese people. We have been faithful to you, as faithful as that cup that you take up every morning to take your tea. And I ask you therefore, on August 28th, wake up early in the morning, do what you usually do, have your breakfast, lift your cup and drink a tea, and go to the polls at 6 o'clock and cast your vote solidly for that faithful cup and the faithful People's Progressive Party Civic, so that we can have a brighter future for all. I thank you for your attention.
Comrades and friends, I bring to the microphone our Prime Ministerial candidate and the next Prime Minister, Samuel Hines.
Thank you very much, comrades and friends. This not so old man is happy to be once again your Prime Ministerial candidate for the PPP Civic. I thank you for your confidence and support. I thank you for the privilege of the continued opportunity to serve you and all the people of Guyana. And I will endeavor, as always, to do my best to live up to your expectations. I accept this nomination with renewed vigor and enthusiasm. I feel much younger ever since last Wednesday. And I will continue to work in our glorious tradition, the glorious tradition of the People's Progressive Party of serving the people. Comrades, during the last terms of government, everyone can see the progress in restoring and extending physical infrastructure and social services in our Guyana. But most of all, I think whilst it's important that we've managed to improve, to restore seawalls and roads and drains, whilst we've restored school buildings and so on, I think the most important thing that we have done is to restore and ease in our country, easy living and easy relations between our people. When we came to government in 1992, people expected all sorts of things to happen in Guyana. Those who had been cheating the People's Progressive Party for many years expected that we would be getting back at them. But that has not been so, because that has never been the intention and the policy of the People's Progressive Party. There were many difficult and trying times through the last 14 years, but our people have held together despite a number of incidents which were intended to tear us apart. The overwhelming majority of our people now live and work together more comfortably and more easily than ever before. So, comrades, I'm looking forward to you returning us to government on the 28th of August this year. I'm depending on you. As we said in 1992, we had the A team. We have the best team for Guyana, and we have the best candidate for President of Guyana, Mr. Barrett Jagdeo. And I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our presidential candidate and next president of Guyana, His Excellency President Barrett Jagdeo.
Is one of bringing people together, moving our country forward, taking Guyana to greater heights. And this is why this is the most powerful message across Guyana. And it is going into every home and at every street corner and across the regions and among races and religion. And that is why, comrade, our message will catch hold, and people who never voted PPP before will come out these elections to vote for us, along with you, the faithful ones. So, comrades, Berbice understands struggle. But these struggles did not start recently. The struggles have been a long one. And they started some time ago with Dr. Chedi Jagan, when he struggled to give people the right to vote in 1953. The struggle to free our people from colonialism, and then the long, long, long struggle in opposition to restore dignity to our people. And I know that you appreciate that struggle. And I know that you understand that a victory in 1992 was not the end of the struggle. It was just the beginning of a struggle to provide a better life for our people. And that struggle is not over. It will go on. We see a bright future for all ahead of us. But that future will only come if we work hard and if you remain faithful to the People's Progressive Party, because it's the only party that could lead this country forward. Comrades, many of you know the situation that we took over. Many of you are aware of the hopelessness that pervaded our country in 1992. We didn't say this. The Caribbean Council of Churches came here in 1990. And they said, these are people from a Christian community who belong to the Caribbean. And they said it was not the rundown roads and city fences and bridges that was the biggest problem. it was not the rundown hospitals and the schools that was the major problem. It was not that there were shortages in this country that was the major problem. The major problem in Guyana that they encountered at that time was a sense of hopelessness. Hopelessness, comrade, is the enemy of progress. And that is what this group came and found in Guyana a year before we took office. And I can say today that we have restored hope to this country. We have restored hope to Guyana, the hope of a brighter future for everyone. And this is why, comrades, that we're going to win the elections. It's absolutely clear that we're going to win these elections. Comrades, we must never forget what we are struggling for. I look out at the crowd and I see many young faces. And I wonder if they have this appreciation of how far we have come. I wonder if they know of the struggles of our foreparents. I want to tell you a little bit about what happened in my village. And this experience is not unique to me, because I'm sure that most of you, all the comrades who are standing over there, and all of you here, especially if you're around my age, you would have experienced similar things in your villages. And I remember how it used to be at election time, that at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, growing up in the village, the soldiers would come and they would take away the ballot boxes. And I used to wonder, why were the people in my village crying? Why were these grown-up people, big people, older people crying? And my father never used to show much emotion, but I would see tears in his eyes. And I wonder why. But then I understood, maybe later in my life, that they were not crying because of any personal reason. The reason they were so sad and frustrated was not because someone was stealing a little piece of paper that they had put an X neck on. The reason they were so sad is that in their own country, the country of their birth, the country that all their dreams have to be fulfilled within, that in that country, they did not have a voice, a say. And it is very sad, comrades. And that is why, whilst we're making merriment today, whilst we're having fun here today, because that's what we're about. It's good that we're having fun on the campaign trail. We must understand that every single one of you, all of you here, you have a task. And that task is protecting the freedoms that we want. Because freedoms don't come easily, comrade. And if you become complacent about freedoms, they're taken away from you. And you don't want your children to grow up in that kind of society. Because if they grow up in that society, they'll never be able to accomplish their dreams. So comrades, come August 28th, go out to protect your freedoms. Ensure that the People's Progressive Party has another big victory at the polls so we can continue to maintain your freedoms. Comrades, talking about freedom, we have provided the opportunity for everyone today to exercise their franchise, but also to say what they wish. provided it doesn't cross borders and our law.
Can I count on you? Can I count on all of you to work for another PPP victory, comrade? As soon as you get home, call your neighbor if they didn't come out and say, why did you go to the meeting? And drag them out to all the other meetings we have here. We're going to have many more meetings before August 28th. So take them out. Show your support. Let them see the strength and your strength, the strength of the People's Progressive Party and your strength. When you do this, they get worried. They get worried. They get demoralized. And therefore, this helps us. This helps us tremendously. So comrades, please go home safely. Remember, we're all partners in this. We're brothers and sisters in this big struggle ahead. We're partners. And this partnership will go from strength to strength until every Guyanese can fulfill his or her dream. Thank you very much, comrade. Long live the PPP. We're winning another victory. Victory, comrades.